Okay, so we're back on question 8 here, page 92, so where we left off last day. We got a horizontal bar graph, and it's a double bar graph, okay? So you have applications for visas, and you have approvals for visas. So which one should always be larger? Which bar? Yeah, obviously you can't have more approvals than people who apply. So everywhere you see here, the applications bar should always be bigger, okay? What's weird about this one? Where's the time? The side, the y-axis. Usually time is on the x-axis. So if you just, like if I stand over here and look at my tablet like this, it's a standard bar graph going up and down, okay? So all you guys got to do is turn your heads like this, and it's normal, okay? So it's nothing different about this. Let's take a look at some of these questions. In which month was the most applications received? So what are you looking for when it says most? You're looking for a max or you're looking for a min? Yeah, you're looking for a max. So just find the biggest bar. Okay? So which is the applications bar? The first one or the second one? First one. So it looks like June. Do you guys agree? Yeah. And how many applications were received that month? 600 something, but definitely not what? What's it not over? 700. So it's somewhere, I think it's bigger than 650. 650 would be about halfway. So like 685, 680, whatever. Okay, so when it's on a multiple choice, you pick the best answer, okay guys? In which month were the fewest applications received? So now we're looking for a minimum. Where's the smallest bar? Where's it December? Yeah, it's definitely January. Okay, so January. And it's just past the first increment, which is 100. So just over 100, but less than probably 150, right? So probably like 120, 125, something like this. In which month was the greatest difference? What is that? Yeah, it's a subtraction. So you got to take the biggest, what do you call it? What's another word for difference? Yeah, the biggest leap. Compare them. Where's the biggest difference in the bars? Okay. Where's the big bar and a small bar? June looks like a big bar, small bar. Ooh, July looks like a big bar, small bar. I think July, yeah. So this is like, what's July? Like 5 something? 550? And what's this one? Like 310 or something? And then let's compare with June. Would say with June was like 675 and this is like 500. And you subtract them, right? 675, 500. Subtract. 550, 310. Subtract. No, 240. So clearly July. July has the biggest difference. The biggest difference would be the biggest subtraction. Alright, so that's a double bar graph. Double bar graphs are beautiful for comparing things. The next one's just like got negatives. So bars go up, bars go down. Does that blow your mind? No. You guys deal with temperature every day. This is a temperature question. The nice thing about this, you can see when it's cold, you can see when it's hot. Okay? You have the high on the first bar, you got the low on the second bar. Or is it vice versa? Yeah, the high is first bar, low is the second bar. And if the colors aren't showing up, well, usually this will come up first, this will come second in the legend. Okay. Why are the bars going downward? Because it's negative. Less than 0. What was that? What? Why is there no black bar on Saturday? Which one's black? The high? So on Saturday, good, Jaden. The high was 0. So it's right on the axis. So the bar doesn't go up, the bar doesn't go down. It's right on the reference point, if you will. What is significant about Wednesday? No, not the temperatures. What's the legends? The high and the low. So be specific. The high and the low. are the same. And what's the general trend? So like this question in C is very specific. It says what is significant about Wednesday? Very specific. And then in D it's talking about general. Okay, so now you got to be general. So now you need some statement about the whole thing as a whole, as a graph as a whole. Is it getting warmer, getting colder, or staying the same? What's up with these bars? Yeah, it's getting warmer. So remember I said that the general trend is a pattern? What are some possible answers for that general trend? Going up, going down, staying the same. And what happens if it goes up and down and there's no real pattern? What do you call that? Starts with F. What do you call it when it goes up and down? No real pattern. Starts with F. Fluctuate. Good. Fluctuate. Alright, the next one here is the stacked bar graph. So the stacked bar graph is exactly what the title conveys. If the two bars are stacked on top of each other, then it's a stacked bar graph. Okay, so here's an example of a real estate agent question. And I think we did this question earlier. It was a double bar graph from last day. Okay, so instead of having the bars right next to each other like this, they just pick it up and put it on top. Okay, and what that allows you to do is compare the parts to a whole. So like each, I'll change color here, each bar represents a part. Okay, so you stack the two parts on top of each other, and what you get is a whole. Okay, so what's an easy example of this? Just make everything clear. Let's say you had 30 kids in a class. Okay, 30 kids in class. And 20 are boys, 10 are girls. What would the bar graph look like? 0 to 20 would be boys, and then this would be boys, and then this would be girls. Okay? Because you'd go to 20 and then another 10. So altogether you have 30, but you can see the two parts, 20 and 10. Does that make sense? So bar graphs that are stacked represent parts to a whole. Alright, so we're going to build a double vertical bar graph and a stacked vertical bar graph to represent the data. I think we'll skip the double vertical bar graph. That was yesterday. Let's just do a stacked vertical bar graph. Okay? So like always, you need to create the axes. And if you were away yesterday, you should watch the video and get caught up in the notes. They're like 30-minute videos, so when you're doing them, like, you don't need to listen and watch the whole 30 minutes if you don't want to. You can skip ahead, right? Find the part of the notes, jot it down. If it makes sense, move on. If it doesn't make sense, then watch the 5 or 10 minutes of that part. Okay? But it is on you. The accountability is on you guys. I record every video. Every lesson is on the site. Alright, so what are we going to put on the x-axis? The numbers or the sports? Sports. That's what makes sense to me. And then we'll put the bars going up. Okay, so we got football. Just use F. Okay. And then we got hockey. Then we got basketball. Then we got baseball. I'll call that BB. And then we got golf. These are all my favorite sports, all in one chart. Interesting. Okay, so then we got to put the number on the side. So this is, what are these numbers representing? A survey? Number, let's just put number of people or something like this. Number of people. So we're just going to do a stacked bar graph. And we got boys, we got girls. So like if you had different color pen, I'll use blue for boys, and I'll use what looks like pink for girls. And there's my legend right there. If you don't have different colors, then maybe you can color one of them in and leave the other one blank. Okay, we need a scale. Scale is the important thing. Okay, so jot down scale over here. What's the smallest number? 2. What's the largest number? 265. So we need a scale from 2 to 265. So you want to go like 0 to 300? 0 to 300. Will that cover my small and my large? Now use your calculator and just cut in half. What's half of 300? Cut in half. Use your eyeballs. 150. Cut in half again. What's half of 150? 75. Now count by 75. 75, 150. Next one would be 225. Okay. If you want smaller increments, then you have to keep dividing by 75, keep cutting in half. So divide by 2 again. Okay. Or you could just go like, you could be really, what do you call it, like diligent, do like ticks of 5, like every centimeter. That would be like super diligent. Like I personally don't have time for that kind of accuracy. I'm just going to get like a ballpark region, okay? Okay, so football. How many boys like football? 135. So 135, somewhere in here, maybe like that. Now I need 121, but you got to be careful because 121, how do I do this starting from 135? So add them together to get the total. Add them together. What's 135 plus 121? 256. So now this next bar that I'm going to draw has to take me to 256. Okay, I'm just going to jot that sum in, 256. I'm going to put 256 right there to help me remember. And I'm going to write them both in just to remember. So 135, 121. Girls on top on the bar graph here. Okay, so the double bar graph, pink on top, blue on the bottom. 121, 135. The total is 256. Okay, so now I jump into hockey and try to keep your bars the same width so it's neat. Mr. Mustafa, just come sit up here at the front so I keep an eye on you. Okay, so hockey seems to be a bit more popular. And now I have to stop everything. I I'm upset now because I screwed up. Why did I screw up? The graph only goes up to 300. What page are we on, guys? 95. What's the problem? 243 is going to take me to like the top of my scale. Then I need another 265 to... So my scale, I screwed up. Okay. So what are we going to do about this? Do we give up? Is that what you do? Is that your history? You experience some struggles and you give up? No. Mustafa came late, so he doesn't have to redo anything. So he's lucky. Your width, the bars have to be the same width.
Really?
So do we want to just extend up into the chart? Do you want to just do that? Yeah, man, just grab a ruler. So let's just extend into the chart. Okay? It won't be that neat, but such is life, okay? It's an old German phrase. So ist das Leben. Such is life. Okay? So we're going up by 75s. This is 375. You just use your ruler, my friend, and you connect. What's after 375? 450? And then, oh, I touched something. 525. What happens if I add 243 to 265? 508? Okay, so 508, that will fit on my new... What? I just typed in my calculator. 243 plus 265. 508. Okay, so here we go. Shape, rectangle. 243. Just past 225. Marlon, you okay, big guy? Eraser? No, I don't have erasers. Someone hook him up. Okay, so blue on the bottom. Two, 4, 3. Now I need another rectangle that gets me to 508. Make them the same width, okay? And then stack them on top of each other. So there's pink. That's the 265. Do you guys get the idea? Do you want to move on? Do you want to stick on it, Josh? Stay on it? Okay, so there's 3 more. I think we got the idea. We got the idea? Yeah, okay. So, part B, how many people took the survey? So this is the type of questions you're going to get on your multiple choice exam, okay? So they're going to give you the graph most of the time, and then you have to be able to interpret it. So for the double or for the stacked bar graph, when it says how many people took the survey, all you have to do is add up all these values, okay? Has anyone done that already? No? I'll do it. Okay, she's saying it's 1,054. I agree. All I did was add all those pieces up. Alright, what's the next thing? It says, what is the most popular sport to watch on TV?
Hockey.
Okay, hockey. So this must be like Canada or something. Okay, so hockey. You guys agree? Alright. Where'd the teacher go? Oh, he's in the back of the room now. Just sticking next to my friend here who's on his phone. Abdi Kareem. Okay, what is easier to see on the double bar graph than the stacked bar graph? When might the stacked bar graph be useful? So we don't have a double bar graph right next to it, but the double bar graph, you know, it would look like this. It would have all these bars. What would be easier to tell? What would be easier? To me, the difference would be easier to tell. See the difference between the bars? That would be way easier for me to tell. Like when I look at this, like that, this bar and this bar looked identical to me. So I think the double bar graph is better. To me, the stacked bar graph is confusing. Okay. So what is easier to see in the double bar graph? The difference. The difference between the two bars. When might the stacked bar graph be useful? I don't know. When would it be useful? When you're trying to think about totals? Yeah? Not sure. Okay, let's look at question 11. So it says, consider the three multiple bar graphs in Build Your Skills questions 7, 8, and 9. Which of the three graphs is the most suitable for a stacked bar graph? Well, I don't even know what makes a stacked bar graph important. So let's take a look at those. Question 7, question 8, and question 9. Where are we going to find those? Back it up. Okay. Question 7. We didn't complete this one either. Okay, so this one compared low-income households to all households. Question 8 compared applications to approvals. And question 9 was the high-low daily temperature. Do you think a stacked bar graph would be good for the high-low? I don't. I like the way this one is. So either question 7 or question 8 would be better for a stacked bar graph. And we said that the applications versus approvals, we wanted to tell the difference. Remember that? So that was better for when it's double bar graphed. So it must be 7. 7 must be the best one. And all this one asks us to do is compare and then look at trends. Okay. Do you want me to look at the key in the solution manual? Let's do that, because your teacher's blanking out on this. Again, so I might repeat myself. Okay, so this phrase here helps us determine when we're going to use a stacked bar graph versus a double bar graph. The double bar graph indicates the differences and preferences between the genders. So when they're stacked next to each other, it's way easier to tell the difference. You would like to use a stacked if it's more useful if you're interested in totals. So how many altogether?